Hello everybody, John 12 back here again with another video, and today I bring you another review of Arrow. Yes, it's Wednesday night, and I'm back with another Arrow Season 3 episode review. Today I'm going to give you my review of Arrow Season 3, Episode 16, titled The Offer. And if you've not seen tonight's episode, this review may contain spoilers, so please go check out the episode beforehand so we can come back here and talk shit about what happened just tonight. Nevertheless, before I get started, I'm going to rant. Granted, I'm going to rant a lot, so if anybody is not interested in rants, then this review may serve no purpose to you, but nevertheless, I'm going to rant. Let's start off the obvious, and this is kind of just a joke. I'm going to start retitling Arrow Season 3, and I'm going to just retitle it Batman Season 3, because that's what this season practically is. It's basically Batman Season 3. So let's stop playing all the games and let's just do it, because I'm telling you, I'm being completely honest, and I know everybody gets annoyed when they're like, oh, just let it go, it's just inspiration, Batman's just inspiration. It's, okay, sure, but it's still kind of stealing. And Oliver at this point in time is almost like borderline, he's about to get a fucking cape and cowl and start calling himself Batman. So you know what, I'm going to call it, instead of Arrow, let's just call it Batman. Because this is more like Batman than freaking Gotham. So screw it. Arrow Season 3 has been retitled Batman Season 3 in my book. Until they start changing things back to the way it was, in Season 1 and 2. But nevertheless, let's get into tonight's episode. If you've not seen Nanda Perpet, the last episode on Arrow, then definitely check it out, because this will contain major spoilers of that episode as well. And I also have a review on that episode on my channel, so check that out as well. But nevertheless, we're dealing with the same old. Ra's al Ghul is essentially given Oliver the offer as to when he's gone and passes away, Oliver must take up his place, his mantle as the new Ra's al Ghul, and continue leading the League of Assassins for generations and generations, so forth and so on and so on. So that's pretty much the gist of the opening of this episode. And I really didn't like it, because even though I have my own real reasoning behind, I don't really like the whole Ra's al Ghul giving, Oliver the offer of being the new Ra's al Ghul. Even though I have my own personal issues with that, I still don't like the way Ra's al Ghul kind of explains it to him. There's an entire sequence in this opening where, Ra's al Ghul is discussing with Oliver the purpose of the League and how it's influential in the world, and like how he's basically trying to impress Oliver with all this glory and awesomeness, and how the League can be essential in giving Oliver something that the Arrow could never do, the Arrow persona could never do. The League can accomplish that for him. And I really like that, because first off, for any of you Game of Thrones fans, the father of the Lannisters, the guy, the father Lannister, I forget his name, the name of the character, but basically, his character in Game of Thrones is very much like Ra's al Ghul. So that's kind of like, if you're a Game of Thrones fans, you know what I mean. But basically, their arcs are very similar, in the sense that they have a certain goal, and if that goal is not accomplished, then everyone around them needs to go out. They just need to die. In this series, they make it seem like Ra's al Ghul is so dedicated to just letting go of League of Assassins and letting Oliver do whatever he wants with it, which is really odd, because in the comic books, even when Ra's al Ghul wants Batman, or whoever the fuck, to continue, leading the League of Assassins, he wants him to still do it in his goal and his vision. His vision is still there. But in this series, it seems like, and I based this off their conversation together, that Oliver states that if he was never going to join, it was a stupid idea to ask him to join, because it's obviously named League of Assassins for a reason. Why would he ever join it? And then Ra's al Ghul basically says that, well, if I die and you become the new leader, you become the new Ra's al Ghul, then you can pretty much do whatever you want with the League. So that pretty much makes me put into perspective that basically, if Oliver were to become the new leader of the League of Assassins, he can do whatever the fuck he wants with them. He can do anything with them. He can destroy the world, or he can help the world. I don't fucking know. It depends on, their prerogative. I don't really know. But nevertheless, I just felt that was very out of character for Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul would have never done that, and maybe it's a scheme, Maybe it's just his way of being like, okay, now when Oliver eventually does become the new Raish, I can just control him like the puppet master or something. Maybe that's a factor in it, I really don't know, but based off this one conversation, I could basically say, Ra's al Ghul, what the fuck? But nevertheless, moving off of that, they're allowed to leave Netherperbet and back to Starling City, where Oliver's supposed to think about whether or not he should join the League, and basically everyone's discussing with them like what's the real reasoning, why should Oliver continue being the Arrow, and there's this real, I pretty much liked it, but it was not the biggest factor in this episode that really made me love this episode, because there's a certain point throughout this episode where Oliver is contemplating joining the League. Everybody doesn't want him to. Diggle doesn't want him to. Felicity basically gives her piece on the whole situation. And Oliver is at a crossroads because he believes that as the Arrow, he hasn't really done anything for Starling City. He hasn't done anything. But on the flip side, he believes because everyone has kind of left him go. Felicity is with Ray Palmer. They're officially a thing. That's the status quo, if you didn't notice. But nevertheless, I'm pretty sure you can guess that based off them fucking in the last episode. So pretty much the status quo is they're an item. So sorry for all the Olicity fans out there, but pretty much they're together, which I highly doubt it's going to last very long based off the multiple teasers we got for future episodes. But nevertheless, we'll deal with that when the time comes. But Oliver believes that he hasn't done anything good. Felicity's with Ray. Captain Lance doesn't want anything to do with him. As of this episode, he doesn't want anything to do with the Arrow. His family's gone. Thea is basically a wacko at this point in time. So what's the point of being in Starling City, continuing to play, cops and, robbers as the Arrow? What's the point? So why not do the League of Assassins thing? So that's like his contemplation, and that was the biggest factor I actually made me continue to watch this episode. It was just very enjoyable to see that, because it's always enjoyable to see superheroes from comic books that you know and love and appreciate when they come to a crossroads where they don't really think that they're making a real change. And I really like that, because it felt, once again, not to rant too much, but it also felt very Batman, because Batman deals with the same issues where he doesn't believe that he's making a difference in Gotham. He also believes that he could be one of the main reasoning for so many villains in Gotham. He also believes that if there was in a world without Batman, it could be a better place, kind of similar to Metropolis with Superman or something. But of course he continues to go on as the Dark Knight, because he knows deep down inside, regardless of anybody knows it or anybody cares, he is making a difference. And that's kind of like the answer that Oliver gets in this episode, where he discovers the fact that he doesn't do this for a thank you. He doesn't do this for praise and appreciation from the citizens of Starling. He does this because it's the right thing to do. And I like that. I like that whole plot. It was definitely one of my most favorite factors in this episode, and it was definitely one of the things that I appreciated the most. Especially since everything else was kind of really crazy. On top of that, we have some more Ray Palmer scenes. He's only in here for like a few seconds, and we get the gist of Felicity and Ray's relationship as of right now. And ironically enough, Oliver and Ray finally have their first scene together. I thought that was just kind of funny, because if I'm not mistaken, they haven't really been in the same room together since episode 1 of this season. So that was pretty good. On top of that, Nyssa and Raish are kind of like at odds. Kind of on the flip side, Laurel and her father, Captain Lance, are kind of at odds. And I thought that was kind of a good parallel for those characters, because based off this overall season, we've kind of got the gist that Nyssa and Laurel are kind of besties at this point, especially at the end of this episode. They're kind of like, yeah, we're besties, whatever. Anyways, I really like that, because Nyssa kind of seems like she's definitely going to be at odds with her father. She doesn't believe that the League should be run by an outsider, which I kind of believe the same, unless it's the Dark Knight. But once again, not trying to rant. Nevertheless, she believes that Ra's al Ghul's ideal for Oliver to run the League is completely stupid and idiotic. So they're kind of at odds. And I heard this fan theory that Nisa might join Team Arrow to stop Ra's al Ghul by the end of the season, and I guess that's not really that far-fetched as of right now. I mean, then again, I didn't really expect Ra's al Ghul and Oliver to be, butt buddies as of right now, but apparently, I guess that's kind of what's happening now. But nevertheless, on the flip side, Laurel and Captain Lance are kind of at odds. Lance basically states that that Laurel is his daughter. He'll always love her, and he'll always try to protect her, but he'll never forgive her for lying about Sarah's death. So, pretty much their relationship is kind of at its end. At the same time, his relationship with Arrow is kind of at the end. And based off the trailers and teasers we've gotten, oh man, I'm gonna sit here and be honest. Detective Lance. Captain Lance is as a character I've never really liked. No offense, I mean, I like Sarah Lance, Laurel, she's alright, but I was never a fan of Captain Lance. I always thought he was kind of like a useless character that doesn't really get to do anything, and he's definitely like, as of right now, well, not as for the majority of Arrow, he's never been my favorite character. Let's just leave it at that. But based off what happens in this episode, and based off what we've seen for future episodes, his story arc seems like he's gonna fucking start kicking ass. He's at odds with the Arrow. He's gonna find out who the Arrow is. There's a certain scene, if you've not seen any of the trailers, that apparently he infiltrates the Arrow cave, and shit is gonna go down. So I almost feel like that Lance is more of a threat to Oliver than freaking Ra's al Ghul. So I don't know. It's really crazy. Of course, that didn't happen in this episode, but I don't know. In my personal opinion, he just went from my least favorite character to my most important favorite character, because I just can't wait to see where his character goes at the end of the season. Is he going to die? Is he going to try and kill Oliver? Is he going to put him in jail? Is he going to put his own daughter in jail? What the heck's going to go on? But nevertheless, it's pretty crazy. At the end of the day, there's a whole bunch of other things that go crazy. Obviously, Malcolm is at odds. He's kind of become very pathetic at this point in time in this series, and that's his own fault, personally. I mean, Malcolm, I liked him, but he fucked up. He fucked up. He thought he had a plan for everything, but that plan backfired. So now, pretty much no one really gives a shit about Malcolm anymore, especially Thea. So, I don't really know where his character is going to go by the end of this season, but I don't know. I really don't know what to say. Malcolm is definitely just very pathetic at this point, and he's gonna have to like really pull up all the stops to really make it up to Thea, and also, just make himself feel more important, because, like, it's just he almost gets killed. He fucks over his daughter. He lies about it. He puts Oliver in a shitty ass position. Then he gets captured, gets his ass almost killed, and now he's back and trying to pretend like everything's okay, trying to give Oliver advice, is like, with that dumbass line that doesn't make any sense, is like, the person who kills Ra's al Ghul becomes Ra's al Ghul. It's like, what the Malcolm, you need to do something to make yourself a badass again, because as of right now, you're just pathetic. That's just, once again, just my personal opinion, but overall, there's that. And Thea, she's a whack job. She's going crazy. She can't really deal with the fact that she almost killed her father. She believes that the person that she was before this all happened is kind of gone. She wants to be normal again. There's a whole bunch of craziness going on with Thea, and I can't go into too much detail because majority of it just makes me want to forward. But nevertheless, it seems like Thea and Roy can become a thing again. I don't know if that's going to actually happen, but based off this ending of the episode, I can pretty much get the gist that, they're kind of, the status quo is of this. They're definitely, possibly banging again, but I find it unlikely that they're officially an item again, so we're going to have to wait and see. But anyways, and on top of all of this craziness, and it's been fucking crazy, but on top of all this craziness, we have the Hong Kong flashbacks, or as I like to call it, the most useless and boring thing of Arrow Season 3, or as I like to call it, Batman Season 3. No offense, I love the flashbacks, but the island flashbacks are so much better. I just wish we can go back to the island. I'm just saying, those flashbacks were the shit. The Hong Kong's one, not so much. But anyways, apparently, seeing as how they're all separated now, Katana and Mateos and Oliver and their son is pretty much separated now. Oliver has to take care of the freaking kid, and at the end of the Hong Kong flashbacks, out of trying to escape all of the Amanda Waller, fucking assassin people, apparently, and this is a big spoiler, but apparently, Shadow is alive. Yes, Shadow, the person who had a bullet put in her head back in fucking the island. The main reason as to why Slade Wilson tried to destroy Starling City and kill all of Oliver's fucking family and friends. Yeah, that person. Shadow is apparently alive. How? How is that possible? And someone please, in the comments below, please come up with some kind of speculated scenario as to why Shadow is alive. She was killed. Am I wrong for thinking this? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she was killed. It was between her or Sarah. Oliver made the choice. Shadow got a fucking bullet to the head. How'd she fucking survive? How the hell did she survive? I mean, granted, once again, it's a comic book, so, logic, fuck it. But, why? How? How did she survive? And where's she been this whole time? Has she been in Hong Kong, ironically? What? Where has she been? What has she been doing? And also, this just opens up a whole realm of, other possibilities. It's like, okay, I'm probably wrong about this, but let's speculate for a second. Okay, if Shadow's officially alive, because I'm pretty sure the Hong Kong flashbacks are after the events of the island. I don't know if I'm wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure I'm 99% right about it. Okay, so let's keep that in perspective. If Shadow's alive, does this mean that Slade Wilson's demented little Mirakuru fucking hallucinations of Shadow weren't completely fake in his head? Was she there? Was she sneakily, actually trying to make Slade destroy Oliver's life because of her death? Or is this just another fucking scenario that doesn't make any sense? Or maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying there's a whole bunch of weird fucked up shit that happened in this episode that just makes me want to rant a lot. And I know this review is becoming more of a rant, but it's just really weird. Shadow died. She got a bullet to the head, and she was the main reason as to why Slade was destroying Starling. Where's she been this whole time? What is she doing? Why is she in Hong Kong? How is she alive? And is she a part of the League, or is she, not a non-hallucination? I really don't know. It's really fucking weird. Personally, I think it was really stupid to fucking... a real fucking stupid try and sneak that away. I mean... I don't know what the Arrow writers are thinking right now, but it's just really crazy. Shadow, how is she here? How is that possible? What kind of plot device does this serve? I really don't know. I hope that there's some kind of payoff in next week's episode, so I guess we're going to have to wait till then. But nevertheless, at the end of the day, I'm just going to give my rating because this is becoming too much of a rant. But nevertheless, this episode is definitely a 7 out of 10 for me. It's a 7 out of 10. I say that mostly because, A, the Batman stuff is killing me. It's becoming a little too much. Thea's scenes are kind of boring, in my personal opinion. The Hong Kong flashbacks are making less and less sense as time continues to go on. And Ra's al Ghul's motives are really fucking awkward and weird. So that's why I give it a 7. I mean, it was a good episode, don't get me wrong. It was pretty decent, it was good, but there was just a lot of really weird things happening. And it definitely, also on top of that, it wasn't really a good impact episode. Yesterday, we got the best Flash episode ever. Out of Time. Haven't seen it? Check that shit out, because you're missing out. And also check out my review, which is on my YouTube. But, that episode was the shit. It was mind-boggling. It was destroyed everything. Time is... not even a factor anymore. Watch it. But then this episode comes out, and it's kind of like a continuation / kind of FU. Almost. It's not the big impact return episode that The Flash gave us. Which I think has a lot to do and is more fault for them for not really going up with all the stops. But it just really... And also another weird thing, which I don't know if anybody speculated as of right now. But seeing as how the Flash has this whole time paradox thing where Barry, spoilers, went back in time in yesterday's episode, there are ripple effects. there are ripple effects in time where something bad happens, continues to go on everywhere. Doesn't anybody find it weird that in no point in this episode that there was ever a ripple effect where, like, time just went backwards for a second and everybody kind of noticed it? Because that does happen, right? Like, there should have at least been kind of like a weird scene where, like, okay, Barry goes back in time and, like, Oliver kind of feels like this wave that happens in time, and then he kind of, he forgets a lot of things and he remembers again. I don't know. I think there should have been at least one scene to reference the Flash episode, like a time ripple effect, because, Barry technically went back in time, and obviously he changed things, so, it would have been obviously logical to have that affect Arrow, because, they're a part of the same universe. So it would have been good to have that, but whatever. At the end of the day, the villain, I wasn't that too happy about it. I mean, he's a mute. Is there really anywhere to go wrong with there? He's a mute villain. Majority of the episode was basically all about Oliver's choice and Ra's al Ghul's offer. That's pretty much all the episode was. His contemplation whether or not he should continue being the Arrow or should go and take Ra's al Ghul's offer. Diggle says no. Felicity's, she's with Ray Palmer, but still cares about Oliver, which is, kind of like what are you doing? You're just fucking with her emotions, but nevertheless, she's doing that thing. Roy's trying to fix Thea's, whack job kind of mentality here. Malcolm is trying to sacrifice himself for Thea, but Thea really doesn't give two shits for him. Laurel and Nyssa become besties. Nyssa and Ra's are kind of like whatever. This more that I think about it, this episode was more or less just the status quo. It's just a status quo episode. So yeah, if you were expecting a real epic episode, I guess we're gonna have to wait till next week's episode, which I'll get into right now. Apparently, two things happen. The teaser I'll get to in a second, but in the ending, the grand finale ending of this episode, apparently, the Arrow is going to have a couple copycats. Ra's al Ghul is acting as the Arrow to screw over the overall identity of the Arrow in Starling City. He costumes himself as Oliver and kills a couple of thugs. And he tells one of them to go off and tell everybody what he saw, which was the Arrow killing people. So this is my speculation for the rest of the season. Because Oliver did not take Ra's al Ghul's offer, Ra's is basically going to destroy everything that Oliver loves, which is, most importantly, being the Arrow. And because of everybody thinking that Arrow killed people again, has been killing people again, then that gives Captain Lance the fuel to take his rage out on Arrow and obviously try and take him down and arrest him finally, which I guess is what we get from the trailers, because that kind of hinted on the trailers. So my guess is this shit's going to go down. This shit has officially hit the fan. I wish the whole episode was pretty much like this, but it was just at the end of this episode. But overall, I really like this plot twist. I mean, Ra's al Ghul is really going to try and fuck over Oliver. Captain Lance definitely has a grudge against Arrow and Laurel, so shit's going to go down on there. And I just really can't wait to see what happens in this finale. It's so interesting. As much as I'm really hating this whole stealing from Batman, I'm still interested. I'm not saying I'm like a non-fan here. I'm just saying it's getting a little old. But at the end of the day, we got a good teaser for next week's episode. It's definitely a Suicide Squad kind of esque episode. And on top of all this greatness, apparently the Ray Palmer and Felicity relationship has come to its end. I don't know why, but what are you going to do? Whole bunch of shit happening next week. Diggle's wedding, if I'm not mistaken. Suicide Squad returns. Ray Palmer puts on the Atom suit to take down Arrow. So next week is going to be definitely a full-on Batman versus Iron Man. I mean, Arrow versus Atom. Of course, that's what I meant. Wink, wink. But nevertheless, that's pretty much my review. I like Arrow. It's just that it's kind of... They take from Batman, they take from Iron... What's next? They're gonna fucking take from Guardians of the Galaxy, Arrow Season 4, they go to space? I don't know. I don't know. I'm ranting, I know. Take it as a joke, folks. It's not meant to be as like a full-on bashing of Arrow. It's just more or less just a comedic rant, if you will. But overall, this review, I give it a 7 out of 10. This episode was good. The offer was decent. It was not the good, impactful return episode that I was expecting, like the Flash had, because the Flash was the shit. But overall, Arrow is definitely starting to kick up again. Lance, I can't wait to see what he does. Oliver dealing with Raish is going to be interesting. Just a whole bunch of little fucking awesome things that I really can't wait for. And Adam, next week, taking on the Arrow. Oh shit, I really can't wait to see that. But nevertheless, this has been my review of Arrow. Let me know in the comments below, what do you personally think about all this awesomeness? What do you think is going to happen for the rest of the season? Give me your speculation. Check out my Flash review, and also check out my iZombie review that I did not too long ago. I'll be definitely reviewing next week's episode, and next week's episode of The Flash. And of course, check out my 300 subscriber thank you video. Definitely check that out as well. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. Hope you guys enjoyed. This has been John 12.